The night split open as Alex gripped the wheel, headlights carving tunnels through the misty backroad. The radio hissed, then cut into silence. Sarah whispered, "Did you hear that?" Her voice trembled, sharp as glass. A black blur darted across, wings wider than the road itself. Alex slammed the brakes, heart clawing against ribs. Tires screamed, gravel sprayed. A shape rose in the beams, eyes burning like red coals fixed on him. Jacob shouted, "What the hell was that?" Fear coiled tight in his throat. The figure vanished into the trees, but the air carried a low, rattling hum, like a warning. Every shadow leaned closer. Sarah pressed a hand to the window, whispering, "It was watching us." Alex said nothing. The night no longer felt empty. Alex's hands shook as he pulled the car back onto the road, silence pressing in heavier than the fog. Sarah whispered, "Tell me I didn't see that." Her voice cracked. Jacob muttered, "It was nothing but an animal, maybe a bird." His words carried no conviction. The forest pressed against the windows, branches clawing like skeletal fingers. Alex said, "Birds don't have eyes that glow red." His voice came low, deliberate. Every mile crawled, headlights swallowed quickly by the dock. A shadow swooped across the tree line, too fast to follow. Sarah gasped, clutching the seatbelt. Alex's pulse thundered, dread hollowing his chest. Whatever was out there was not leaving them alone. The road narrowed, forest pressing closer with each turn. Alex muttered, "It's following us." Sarah glanced back, her reflection ghostly in the window. Jacob shook his head, jaw set, "You're letting fear drive you." Then the trees broke, revealing a clearing under silver moonlight. In the distance, a figure stood still, wings folded tight against its frame, taller than any man. Red eyes glared unblinking across the field. Sarah whispered, "It's waiting." Alex slammed his foot down, car surging forward, but the figure did not move. As they tore past, Alex caught its gaze, steady, patient, as if marking him. His stomach turned to ice. The clearing faded into dark woods again, silence stretching until Jacob broke it. "Maybe it was a trick of the light," he muttered, though his tone wavered. Sarah said, "You saw it, Jacob, don't lie." Her voice shook with anger. Alex's grip tightened, knuckles bone white. "It wasn't a trick," he said. "It was watching." The forest loomed thicker, branches scraping metal as if trying to peel the car apart. Sarah leaned forward, whispering, "It knows us." Alex glanced at her reflection in the mirror, pale, hollow-eyed. His chest tightened with dread that felt like recognition. This wasn't random. The car rolled to a stop at a fork in the road, both paths swallowed by fog. The silence screamed louder than the engine. Sarah whispered, "It's behind us." Alex's chest heaved as he forced himself to breathe. Jacob muttered, "Keep driving. Don't stop." His voice cracked. Alex looked into the rearview mirror. In the haze behind them, two burning red eyes glowed, suspended in darkness. His throat tightened, words dying on his tongue. Sarah clutched his arm, whispering, "It's choosing." The creature didn't move, only watched, patient as death. Alex's pulse hammered in his ears. The night no longer belonged to them. The next morning, Alex sat on the porch, staring at the fog, still clinging to the tree line. His fingers traced the edge of an old photograph tucked in his pocket. Sarah leaned against the railing, arms crossed, her eyes heavy. "You can't keep chasing shadows," she said, her voice worn. Alex whispered, "It wasn't shadows. My father said the same thing before he vanished." Jacob sat in silence nearby, gaze fixed on the ground, jaw tight. The morning sun offered no warmth, its pale light only sharpening the emptiness left inside him. Alex's chest tightened. He was done doubting. Sarah's voice carried through the quiet kitchen as the coffee pot hissed. "You have to let it go, Alex. You'll destroy yourself." Alex stood by the window, gaze locked on the woods. "I can't," he said. "It knows me." She set her cup down hard. "It was one night. You've built a monster out of shadows." He turned, eyes red from sleeplessness. No, it was real. It's always been real. Her face softened for a moment, but the fear in her eyes betrayed her doubt. Silence stretched, broken only by the tick of the old clock. Later that afternoon, Alex sat across from Sheriff Miller in the station, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. "Big birds don't kill cattle," Alex said sharply. The sheriff leaned back, hat tilted low, lips curling in a smirk. "You're spooked, son. Folks see what they want to see in the dark." Jacob sat at the edge of the room, arms folded, silent but watching. "I saw eyes that don't belong to any bird," Alex snapped. Miller sighed, scribbling something on his notepad. "You'll stir up fear for nothing. Best forget it." His words fell heavy, like a door closing. Back home, Alex rummaged through boxes in the attic, dust swirling in beams of fading light. He pulled out a yellowed newspaper, edges brittle with age. The headline screamed about strange disappearances, decades old. Sarah climbed the ladder, her face pale in the dim glow. "You're digging up ghosts," she whispered. Alex held the paper up, voice trembling. "It's not new. This has been happening here for years." Sarah shook her head, whispering, "My mother told me stories. I thought they were meant to scare me." The silence in the attic carried a weight too old to ignore. As night fell, Alex sat at his desk, journal open, pen trembling in his hand. He wrote in quick strokes, "It's real. It won't stop. I have to find it." Sarah entered quietly, eyes soft but exhausted. "Please," she said, almost a plea. "Stop before it takes you too." He looked up, jaw clenched, eyes hollow. "If I stop, I'll lose myself. If I keep going, maybe I find the truth." Sarah's lips quivered, but no words came. The lamp cast a fragile glow, and the forest outside swallowed the rest of the light. The night air hung heavy as Alex and Jacob walked toward the old barn at the edge of the property. The doors creaked open, revealing claw marks gouged deep into the wood, fresh and ragged. Jacob muttered, "Coyotes, has to be." His words fell flat. Alex ran his fingers over the grooves, cold sweat prickling his skin. "These aren't from coyotes," he said. The smell of damp hay mixed with iron in the air, sour and unsettling. The silence pressed down, broken only by the faint rustle of wings above the rafters. Alex whispered, "It's marking us." Back inside the house, Jacob paced, shaking his head. "You're letting your fear twist everything," he said. His tone carried stubborn certainty, but his eyes betrayed unease. Alex slammed the journal down on the table. "Open your damn eyes. The claw marks, the silence, the eyes, it's real." Jacob's voice rose, cracking under the weight of denial. "It was an animal." Alex leaned forward, fury in his eyes. "Animals don't stare at you like they know your name." Sarah stood between them, her face pale. "Stop," she whispered, but the tension was already suffocating the room. The following day, Sarah stumbled upon a carcass near the tree line. A deer lay torn apart, flesh ragged, bones gleaming under gray daylight. Flies buzzed thick around it, drowning out the wind. She gagged, covering her mouth. Alex crouched beside the body, eyes fixed on the shredded torso. "This isn't hunting," he murmured. "This is slaughter." Jacob hung back, face pale, arms folded tight. "Wolves," he muttered weakly. Alex shook his head, voice low. "No wolf does this. It's a message." The woods seemed to lean closer, the silence deeper, as if waiting for their next move. That evening, Alex sought out Elias, the old man who lived on the edge of town. The cabin smelled of smoke and cedar, its walls lined with faded photographs and yellowed maps. Elias's eyes, weary and shadowed, lingered on Alex. "You should stop digging," he rasped. Alex leaned forward, desperate. "You've seen it, haven't you?" Elias looked to the fire, silence dragging long before he finally spoke. "I saw it once. I never slept the same since." His words sank heavy, chilling the air. Sarah shifted uneasily, her face pale. "What is it?" she asked. Elias only whispered, "A warning." That night, the forest seemed alive. The three of them stood at the porch, listening as a low hum rolled through the trees, vibrating the air. Sarah gripped Alex's arm, whispering, "It's closer." Jacob's eyes darted across the tree line, his bravado cracking. Alex's breath quickened as the sound deepened into rhythmic wing beats, each one heavier, closer. The trees swayed, though no wind touched them. Elias's words echoed in his head, a warning. Alex clenched his fists, staring into the dark. The sound stopped suddenly, leaving only silence thick enough to choke. Nothing about the night felt safe anymore. The night split open with Sarah's scream. Alex bolted upright, the bedroom door swinging wide as her voice echoed into silence. The hallway lights flickered, throwing long shadows across peeling wallpaper. Jacob rushed out from his room, eyes wild, shouting her name. They found the front door wide open, the wind clawing at curtains, her shoes still by the mat. Alex's throat tightened, rage and dread colliding. "She wouldn't run," he whispered. Jacob shook his head, backing away. The forest beyond the doorway loomed black and endless. The hum of wings throbbed faintly, already retreating into the night. Sarah was gone. In the attic, Alex tore through boxes, desperation clawing at him. Dust choked the air as he yanked free. An old leather-bound journal hidden beneath rotting blankets. The cover bore his family's name. His hands shook as he flipped pages filled with sketches of red eyes, wings, and dates stretching back generations. Jacob whispered from the ladder, "What is that?" Alex's voice cracked. "It's been hunting my bloodline." The inked pages showed names crossed out. His father, his grandfather. Sarah's name wasn't written, but Alex was. His breath caught, horror sinking deep into his bones. The next morning, Alex stormed into the sheriff's office, clutching the journal. Sheriff Miller looked up, unimpressed. "This again?" he drawled. Jacob followed quietly, face tight. Alex slammed the book down. "It's in writing. It's been happening for decades." Miller's eyes narrowed, then shifted toward Jacob. "Tell him, boy," he said. Jacob hesitated, then shook his head. "Alex, you're losing it." The betrayal landed like a blade. Alex stared at him, stunned. "You saw it," he shouted. Miller smirked. "Enough. I won't let you spread panic." The journal was closed, locked away in the sheriff's desk. That evening, Alex confronted Elias in his cabin, the journal fresh in his mind. Elias sat by the fire, gaze heavy with secrets. "You knew," Alex accused. Elias's shoulders sagged, eyes clouded by old grief. "I tried to forget," he rasped. He stared into the flames, voice breaking. "It took my brother. I watched those wings carry him off and no one believed me." Alex's stomach twisted. "You let us walk into this blind," he said. Elias looked up, his face etched with sorrow. "Knowing doesn't save you. It only makes the waiting worse." The fire popped, sparks falling like dying stars. Night descended heavy and suffocating. Alex stood alone on the porch, staring into the tree line. The forest pulsed with silence. Then came the low hum, steady and deliberate. Red eyes flared between the trees, closer than ever. He whispered Sarah's name, but no voice answered. The hum grew into heavy wing beats that shook the branches. Alex backed toward the door, chest tight. "It's not hunting the town," he muttered. "It's hunting me." The realization cut deeper than fear. This wasn't random. It was chosen, personal, patient. The Mothman wasn't just a creature, it was coming for him. The forest exploded with sound as branches snapped, and the air pulsed with heavy wing beats. Alex sprinted across the clearing, Jacob close behind, both stumbling through tangled roots. A shriek ripped the night, sharp enough to shatter bone. Alex's chest burned, but he didn't dare slow down. Jacob gasped, "It's above us." He was right. The shadows swirled, wings stretching across the moon. The ground trembled as something landed behind them, claws raking dirt. Alex risked a glance back and froze at the sight of glowing red eyes, unblinking, gaining ground. There was no outrunning it anymore. They reached the riverbank, moonlight shimmering on restless water. Alex skidded to a stop, chest heaving. Behind them, branches cracked as the creature closed in. Jacob shouted, "We have to swim!" His voice cracked under panic. Alex shook his head, terror freezing his limbs. "It wants me. It won't stop." The hum built, vibrating the earth, pressing into their skulls. A shadow fell across the water, enormous wings blotting the moon. Jacob grabbed Alex's arm, trying to pull him toward the river. The claws scraped stone behind them, each sound a countdown to something inevitable. The forest echoed with a voice that wasn't human. A sound twisted into Sarah's cry, faint and fragile, drifting through the trees. Alex's heart lurched, his head snapping toward the sound. "Sarah!" he shouted, stumbling forward. Jacob grabbed him, desperate. "It's a trick." But Alex's gut churned with doubt. The cry came again, soft and pleading, pulling him deeper into the trees. His chest shook, torn between fear and hope. Jacob's grip faltered as the voice grew louder, so real it hurt. "She's alive," Alex whispered. The red eyes blinked once in the distance, patient, watching him choose. The trees exploded as the Mothman surged forward, wings tearing branches, sending splinters flying. Jacob screamed, diving aside. Alex stumbled, shielding his face as the shadow swept over him. The sound was deafening, wings pounding like thunder. He dropped to his knees, air ripped from his chest. Dirt and leaves swirled in violent circles as claws slammed into the ground, gouging trenches inches from him. The red eyes bore down, unblinking, merciless. Jacob shouted his name, but Alex couldn't move. Every muscle locked in place as terror clamped down like iron. The creature was no longer circling. It had chosen. Moonlight carved a circle of silver as Alex stood trembling, face to face with the creature. Its wings stretched wide, blacker than the night, each feather dripping shadow. Red eyes locked on him, unwavering, almost intelligent. His breath came ragged, fists clenched though his body screamed to flee. Jacob's voice echoed faintly from behind, begging him to run. Alex whispered, "I'm not afraid," though every heartbeat betrayed the lie. The Mothman tilted its head, watching, calculating. For one endless moment, silence bound them together, prey and predator. Then the wings rose higher, blotting out the moon, ready to strike. Dawn bled pale light across the treetops as Alex staggered back to the farmhouse. His clothes clung with mud, eyes hollow, every step heavy. Jacob trailed behind, silent, his face gray. The woods stood still, eerily calm, as if nothing had stirred the night before. Alex's chest heaved as he collapsed onto the porch steps. "It let me live," he whispered, the words sharp with disbelief. Jacob looked away, lips trembling but silent. The sunrise painted the horizon gold, but the color felt empty, hollow, mocking. The terror hadn't ended. It had only changed its shape. Later that morning, Sheriff Miller stood in the kitchen, arms crossed, eyes sharp. "Nothing happened out there," he said flatly. Alex slammed his hand on the table. "You think I imagined it?" The sheriff leaned closer, voice low. "I think you're dangerous if you keep talking." Jacob sat stiff at the corner, eyes down, saying nothing. The silence from him burned worse than Miller's denial. Alex's voice shook. "Sarah's gone, and you won't even look." Miller's jaw tightened. "There's no proof, no body. Forget it." His words buried everything under cold authority. That night, Jacob sat in the living room, whiskey glass shaking in his hand. Alex stood over him, voice raw. "You saw it. Why won't you admit it?" Jacob's face twisted with fear and shame. "Because saying it makes it real," he whispered. The fire in the hearth crackled weakly, light flickering across his hollow eyes. Alex's fists clenched, rage boiling under grief. "You think silence will save you? It won't." Jacob looked down, his voice breaking. "I can't live with it." The words hung heavy, sealing the gulf between them. Alone in his room, Alex laid the old journal on his desk, pages whispering as he turned them. Every entry dripped with fear, warnings scribbled by hands long gone. His pen hovered above a blank page, trembling. He whispered, "It knows me." The lamplight flickered, shadows stretching long across the walls. He slammed the book shut, chest heaving. Keeping it was a curse. Destroying it would be betrayal. His reflection in the window looked back at him, pale and broken, with the forest looming just beyond the glass. The town woke to ordinary life, children playing, neighbors exchanging morning greetings. To them, nothing had changed. Alex watched from the porch, hollow-eyed, while Jacob avoided his gaze entirely. Sheriff Miller's truck passed, the sheriff tipping his hat as though burying the truth forever. Alex's stomach churned, the weight of silence pressing him into the earth. Sarah's laugh echoed in his memory, a ghost too sharp to forget. The world spun on, pretending normalcy while he sat in the wreckage of truth. He whispered, "I can't unsee it." But no one was listening. The night was still, too quiet. Alex sat alone on the porch, the lamp's glow weak against the endless dark. His eyes traced the tree line where the forest whispered to itself. Then it came, the low hum, faint but unmistakable, drifting across the silence. His body froze, breath hitching as the sound deepened, pulsing through the night air. Jacob slept inside, unaware. Alex whispered into the emptiness, "You're still here." The trees shifted, and a wing beat echoed once, rolling across the land like thunder in the distance. It wasn't gone. It was waiting. The following morning, Alex walked into town. Children laughed, chasing each other down the street, their voices sharp against the quiet in his chest. Then he froze. A little girl hummed softly while skipping rope, the tune sharp and haunting. His blood turned cold. It was the same melody Sarah used to hum late at night, the one she swore no one else knew. Alex staggered closer, his lips parting. The girl smiled innocently, continuing the tune, unaware of the dread spilling into him. His hands shook as he whispered, "Sarah." But it was only the child's voice, and yet not. That night, the farmhouse windows rattled under a sudden gust. Alex jerked awake, sweat beading his forehead. He rose slowly, footsteps heavy, drawn to the living room window. The glass trembled faintly under his touch. Beyond it, the yard was still, moonlight silvering the grass. Then a shadow glided past the glass, massive and silent, blotting out the light for an instant. His chest seized, breath caught in his throat. He whispered, "It found me." The silence outside grew suffocating, as if the night itself held its breath. At his desk, Alex opened the old journal once more. His eyes burned, scanning the pages filled with warnings. Then he froze. On the final page, words were scrawled in fresh ink. His own name stretched across the top, each letter carved deep into the paper. Below it, jagged sentences described everything he had just lived. Every moment, every breath. His hand shook as he whispered, "I didn't write this." The lamp flickered, the shadows trembling like living things. The ink seemed wet, as if freshly written. The journal no longer recorded the past, it was writing the end. The house sank into silence. Alex sat frozen, staring at the journal, when the roof groaned under a crushing weight. Dust sifted down, pages fluttering. His eyes lifted slowly. The sound came, deep, steady, unhurried, the unmistakable rhythm of massive wings beating overhead. Each thud rattled the walls, shaking the house to its bones. His heart slammed against his ribs as he whispered, "It never left." The final wing beat cracked the silence, drowning the night in dread. And then, only darkness remained.